back. We are continuing our conversation with Dr. Talisa Franklin, who is joined this time by Memphis Mayor Paul Young. Recently, the two are about to take part in community conversations focused on improving the city amid the Memphis Safe Task Force's operations. The two join us now to talk more about how they're calling on the community to help move Memphis forward. Mayor, welcome. Glad to have you here as well. We know you've had a busy day, just wrapped up another meeting, but made it over here for sure.
Absolutely.
Bring us up to date. So much talk, to say the least, about the Memphis Safe Task Force, the arrival of the National Guard being here. What are we hearing? What do Memphians really need to know about what's going on out there now?
Well, they're here and they're active, and I think the important thing to note is that the goal of the city and me as mayor and Chief Davis is to make sure that as this task force is here, that it amplifies the work that we've been doing. We've had double-digit reductions in all categories of crime in our city over the last 2 years, and we know the strategies that work. Our organized crime unit, our multi-agency gang unit, those are agencies that have already been working. We have at least 30 individuals that we've identified as homicide suspects. We want this task force to help us go after those folks. The FBI, DEA, they have different investigative capacities, and our goal is, as long as these individuals are here, our goal is to make sure that they're helping us get better at getting the ones that are truly wreaking havoc in our community off the street.
So, Mayor, a lot of folks will wonder how long are they going to be here, because we heard the governor talking about they could be here perhaps forever. Is that what's needed? How do you feel about that?
Well, I think the governor's statement, I think what he was saying is that there should be a long-term partnership. But I think the surge that we're seeing right now, where you have 700 federal agents and 150 National Guard individuals, I think that we'll see that intensity for the next 30 days or so. At least that's how it played out in D.C. And then we'll see some reduction of the level of presence, but hopefully continued partnership on the things that are working, like what I talked about, working with our task forces within MPD.
Dr. Franklin and I were talking a little bit earlier when it comes to partnerships, when it comes to collaborations, especially dealing with issues such as poverty, housing, education, things of that nature. Can we hopefully expect something to happen there as well, you think?
Well, that's definitely what I'm driving for. I mean, when we talk about this work, there's a role that law enforcement plays in creating a safer community. But I think we all know that the long-term strategy has to be investing in the things that prevent people from going into a life of crime in the first place. Investing in mental health, investing in housing and affordable housing, and providing programs for our young people to be able to be engaged, or prevention programs or intervention where individuals may be on the wrong path, and investing in coaches and things of that nature that can turn their path to a different direction. And so my goal is to make sure that we continue to advocate for those things as we go through this law enforcement surge.
And Dr. Franklin, I know you have heard what the community is saying, and do you think the mayor is on point from this?
Absolutely. We're very blessed to have a mayor that has a heart, that really cares for our community. And whether you agree or disagree with him, but we all can agree that he cares about this community, because he wouldn't want it to be mayor. And we care, but what's going to have to happen, the community have to join forces with the mayor and say, hey, how can we work together? We may not agree on everything, but we can agree that we want to see Memphis moving forward. And that's what we have to do. And we have to trust who we have in leadership. A lot of times you may not like this person, but you got to respect the position in which they are and trust that they're going to do what's right for the city of Memphis.
Mayor, talk to us also about, we've heard so many claims, especially this week from the county mayor's office, about some of the task force arrests could be or are immigration related. How do you see all of this, and what are your concerns there if that is in fact the case?
I mean, we certainly share concerns. We want to make sure that our immigrant community is protected, and so that's why my focus has been working to steer the task force towards violent crime, which is the thing that has been the challenge for our community. Immigration has not been the issue that has been really plaguing our city for years. It has been crime, and it's been the thing that I have talked about since I was on the campaign trail and since I've been mayor. And it's the area where we want this task force to direct its focus. And so that's why our team with Memphis Police Department has been working with them to ensure that they have the opportunity to help us. We have over 10,000 felony warrants that exist at any given time. We have ample people that we can go and bring to justice that would help make our community safer, and that's what we want to keep the focus on.
Yeah, when it comes to the impact all these additional arrests, though, are having, and the impact they're having on our court systems, the Shelby County Jail, what are you seeing there? How can we handle this?
Yeah, they're definitely overwhelmed. I think we have a capacity at the jail of 2,800, and we're looking at nearly 2,900 individuals that are there, and so they need relief. And I think the way that we should focus and move forward is really emphasizing going after the ones who have committed the most violent crimes, because those are the ones that we need to get off the streets. And I think as we move some of those individuals that have misdemeanor crimes and things like that out of the jail, it will relieve some of that capacity.
When it comes to also, though, I want to ask you both about this, the overall image. Again, we know so many Memphians do take pride in their city, and they love calling Memphis and saying that they are Memphian. But what has this actually done, you think, Mayor, to our image nationally? Because when it comes to things like tourism, visitors, or just people wanting to come to our city or come to downtown Memphis, for example, are people not coming?
Yeah, I don't know enough to say that they're not coming, but I do know that Memphis has the opportunity to come out of this in a way where the narrative about our city is stronger, because this is something that obviously is national news, worldwide news. All eyes are on Memphis, and we're going to navigate this in a way where we show our community coming out stronger on the other side. That's my singular goal, and I know that I take a lot of criticism from all sides. There are people that praise this or people that hate it. My goal is to make sure that we navigate this for all of Memphis for the betterment of our community.
Dr. Franklin, I was talking to Pastor Keith Norman yesterday about what's going on in Memphis as opposed to what we've seen happen in cities such as Chicago, where there have been clashes with police and other law enforcement and federal agents for that matter. What has set us apart, you think?
Memphis just know how to be Memphis. There is such a culture we have in Memphis that we know how to do things right. And unfortunately, we have just a little bitty percentage that just want to do things wrong. And so many times we hype on the wrong versus the good. And that's why I'm challenging Memphians. And many people know my stance is about being positive. Don't let nobody else talk bad about our city, because we live here and we know we grit and grind Memphis. And we know that once the Memphis Safe Task Force is gone, we're still going to be Memphis. And we're going to love each other, we're going to work together, and we know we may have maybe a small 1% of people that's reaping crime. And so what is happening is everybody's putting the light on that, and we're not putting enough light on the positive things that we have. We have more positive wins in Memphis, Tennessee than negative, but sometimes we never get the audience, we never get the light on all the great things in Memphis. And that's one of the things I'm telling people. In order for us to move Memphis forward, we got to shine the light on the positive. I don't care what they saying, but what are you saying about Memphis, Tennessee?
The last word being yours, Mayor. Can we do those things in fact?
Absolutely. I think that once we are all on the same page as Memphians, there's no limit to how high our city is going to go. And I think that this is one of those moments that's very, very challenging. But on the path to greatness, you always have moments like this. And my goal is to make sure that we come out on top.
Mayor, thank you. Dr. Franklin, thank you as always. Let's continue these conversations.
Thank you.
We definitely need them.